Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whatever time of day you're choosing to watch this video. Thank you for being here. I'm Jacob Avillion. I am joined, as always, of course, by my handsome man to the right, Brayden McClellan. Brayden, hello. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Things are pretty chill.
Mm-hmm.
We are currently sitting at 471 subs.
We are nearly at the end of your goal, and it is only April.
We're getting there, and I got some heat coming down the pipeline, video
Heat,
wise. We
including
Vault,
a segment from later today.
true, and a We Vault coming out very soon. It's been a while. It's
It
been
has
over a
been,
month,
the people have been waiting.
probably closer to 2 months
Been
since the
too
We
long.
Vault. So coming out soon, but we are sitting at a nice clean 471.
Will we be informed as to what the Wii Vault is, or will we have to wait until it comes out?
I will inform because I live stream them. So that knowledge is out there, and I always tease the next one in the Weevil video. I'll be like, and here's what we're doing next week or next Weevil, and it'll show like a clip from the trailer.
Okay.
It's called Spore Hero.
Oh, okay.
It's
like
like a evolution based game. You start off as a little nub, and as you play the game, you just grow and evolve and add parts to your creature.
I know my brother played it growing up. I don't think I played it. I think I played it a couple times on the DS. I didn't play it a ton.
Surprisingly solid. It was pretty good.
Good. Very good.
Definitely the longest I've spent on a game, like having to play it for Weevil.
How much time did you invest in it?
I don't know, because usually these Wii games are usually pretty short, but this one, maybe 10 hours.
Okay.
Maybe a little less, but for this series, for the games I've done, a lot comparatively.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because this one could have been like a 7 stream thing if I streamed them all. I kind of took a break from streaming them and just played them off stream, but all these other ones have been like 3 stream maxes.
Gotcha.
So significantly more time. But yeah, excited for what's coming.
Hell yeah, brother. All right,
let's
Hero Wii Vault on the way. Let the people know.
We need a little affirmation though.
We do need a girl boss affirmation to start our day.
Just remember, you can do anything you set your mind to, but it takes action, perseverance, and facing your fears. Gillian Anderson.
Let her cook.
Queen.
Let her cook. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Well, she cooked.
She cooked.
Should we cook?
Should we cook? I think I should tell you how I'm doing first before we cook.
Oh, I kind of assumed you had.
A man turned 21 this past weekend, so I am still yet to purchase my first drink. However, I am going to a bar tonight. We'll see how my bank account's treating me. If I end up getting anything while I'm there, I might just hang out. Going with my girlfriend and her best friend, so we shall see. However, exciting to just go, just hang out, have fun. I think it's karaoke night, so we'll see. Should be fun.
Yeah, when I turned 21, I assumed I would have like bought drinks more, but it took like months for me to buy my first actual legal drink.
What did you end up buying first?
I don't remember what it was called because I went to a sushi place with a friend and we just bought and split a drink.
My mom got me a bottle of 1792, which is a very good, nice bottle of bourbon. It's very tasty. It's good on its own. It's a good mixer. So I had it with some Coke as well. I like it. I like it a lot. And yeah, I had a nice weekend. And I don't know. It's just it feels cool. Like I can just drink now and not be like, ooh, I shouldn't be doing this. Ooh.
God, I'm such a bad boy.
I need a spanking.
God, so fucking dirty. I'm dirty.
We up one again. Check the scoreboard. So now I think we can cook. Well, I can.
Now we can cook. Yeah, my bad.
Anyways, we'll see if you cook. I know I cooked.
I honestly doubt I cooked.
No confidence in this whatsoever.
It's well, we'll say why in a second. I guess. I guess we could just intro it right now.
We sure can. So, we got a fun little segment today. Brayden and I have created a top 22 positions in the NFL in terms of importance. Now, the way we structured this was the NFL generally now it's a 3 wide receiver league. Base packages on offense are more often than not 11 personnel for a lot of teams. And defense, you see a lot of base nickel packages. So the way we structured this is like quarterback, the 5 offensive linemen, tight end, running back, 3 wide receivers, one of which is your slot receiver. On defense, 2 edge rushers, 2 interior defensive linemen, one of which is a pass rusher, one of which is a nose tackle, your 2 corners, your slot corner, your free safety, your strong safety, and then 2 off-ball linebackers. So that's how we've got this. That's how we've got it set up today. So, um, yeah, let's get right into it.
I guess I was thinking of like if I was building a team myself.
Yes.
What's the order of the positions I'm going after
Right.
to get the best I can?
And that's a great way of looking at it.
So that's how I did it.
Now, I wonder what our number 1 could be, Brayden.
Are we gonna go like 1-1?
Yeah,
2-2?
I think so.
Okay, makes sense. That's what I figured.
Since you're the guest here, you go first.
Okay, I get the controversial first.
You get the controversial first pick. You got to shock the world with this one.
I don't think we need to drag this one out, guys. The most important position that I would be going after would be
nose tackle. Yes, sir.
Would be quarterback, obviously, the one who touches the ball every single play.
Yeah, I don't even think we need to talk. We don't even need to elaborate on this one. You want to go ahead and give us your number 2?
Yeah, I bet I have a. I'm gonna guess that we have the same number 2.
We might, and if not, we're gonna have like similar, like 2, 3, and 4. I think
we'll probably have very similar tiers. I bet. All right, my number 2. In today's NFL, it's about offense. It's about scoring points. For number 2, I went with my wide receiver 1.
Okay.
Do we not agree?
I actually approached this a little differently. Now, I had a similar headspace to you. It's a passing league.
Mm-hmm.
It's a passing league. Now, we went with quarterback for number 1. Got to protect your quarterback. I went left tackle, number 2.
Okay.
I went left tackle. However, it won't be too long before we get to that one for me as well. Trust me. So,
yeah.
I'm with you in terms of that being in my, like, the way I went about this, like, my 2 through 5, if I'm being totally honest, could be ordered any which way, and I wouldn't really care all that much. Because I think, to me, 2 and 5 are, like, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are very, like, they're all in the same bunch for me.
I think my 2 through 4 is where my tier cuts out at.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll say that.
Now, go ahead and give us your number 3.
So my number 3, it's a quarterback league, so someone has to get to them. I went with edge.
My man.
Edge 1, my top pass rusher.
I also went with edge 1 as my 3rd. Now I went with left tackle as my 2. Somebody's got to beat them left tackles, and it's the edge rusher. These guys get paid a shit ton of money for a reason. Pressures, sacks, whatever the case may be, affecting the quarterback in any way that you can. It is the most valuable part of any defense. And
setting the edge, they still play an important part against the run.
They sure do. They got to contain. Like this is, it's important. Like naturally. So yeah, number 3 for me as well. I know you're gonna hear no debate from me there.
All right, number 4. I don't know where other people stand on this, but since I valued wide receiver that highly, I'm gonna value those who can attempt to stop those wide receivers. At number 4, I put my cornerback 1.
I like it. I'm almost there. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm curious as to hear where you have left tackle if you value edge so highly. But we'll see.
We'll get to it.
I think I know where it is actually, but because you mentioned it to me earlier before we started recording,
and I have a reason.
You had something outside of your top 5 that was a little controversial, and I'll hear you out on it. I'll hear you out on it. Number 4 for me, I went with left tackle, and then I went with edge as the foil. Number 4, it's still a passing league. Got to take care of that. Your quarterback's got protection. Now he needs a weapon. Wide receiver 1, my 4th most important position in the NFL. If I'm building a team, I want a quarterback, I want the guy protecting him, and I want the guy catching passes.
Makes sense.
All right. Number 5.
Number 5. You know, when we talk about these elite quarterbacks, like when we talk about Tom Brady, Drew Brees, anytime they discuss like what really gets them off their rhythm, it's pressure up the middle. I went with D tackle in the next slot.
The pass rushing D tackle, of course.
Yeah.
Right, not the nose tackle. Okay.
Like I'm thinking Aaron Donald, Chris Jones. I mean, these have been the best defensive players the past couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with your assessment there. That's pocket pushing. Even if you don't close out, pushing the pocket up the
Yeah.
middle really affects the quarterback's game. Um, you're forcing them to move. You're possibly forcing them to see a little less because you've just got some giant ass man right in his face.
I might be
Like,
pushing them out into my higher valued edge.
right. Especially if you've already got another guy winning on the outside. If you're winning on the inside, it forces the quarterback to move closer to the guy who's winning outside. So if you've got a good edge and interior pass rusher tandem, very valuable. So I'm in agreement with you there. However, like I said, I picked edge as my foil to my left tackle. I just went with wide receiver for number 4. Got to foil the wide receiver. If you got to pay big bucks for the guy catching passes, you got to pay big bucks to the guy covering them. I got CB1 as my 5th most important position. But I'm in agreement with you there. I do think it's highly valuable, and it won't be too long before I get to that one as well.
All right. For my next one.
Number 6.
In this offensive league, you can draw a lot of coverage to that wide receiver 1.
Right.
And in modern NFLs, you need somebody else to help take pressure either off the wide receiver 1 or take advantage of the one-on-one that they're given due to the attention that wide receiver 1 is getting. I went with wide receiver 2 at 6.
I don't hate this. I don't hate this in the slightest. And, pardon me. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it is, especially with how many offenses in the NFL now revolve around timing. Like quick passing game, like you see it in Cincinnati, you're probably going to see it in Tennessee this upcoming season. Your protection doesn't necessarily need to be elite if you have multiple great wide receivers because they're going to get open quickly.
Which is what I'm banking on.
I get your reasoning there, and like I see why. I think I know what's coming up at number 7 now. At least I sure hope I know what's coming up at number 7
and I will elaborate a lot more when we get there.
Okay. My number 6, as I just said, like it won't be too long before we get to interior pass rusher. For me, defensive tackle is my number 6 as well. I think interior pressure, if for guys that can truly affect the game, truly dominant interior pass rushers are not easy to find.
Nope.
And for if you have an Aaron Donald, if you have a Chris Jones, if you have a Sexter Lawrence, Sexy Dexy, a Jeff Simmons, Quinnen Williams, if you have one of these guys that can like take over a game and just really affect the game up the middle, that is incredibly valuable for what that does for your pass rush, and helps out your secondary, makes everybody's job easier on the defense if you have a dominant interior pass rusher. So I'm in agreement with you there. I think it's very important, and really, I don't see much separation between my number 2 and then now my number 6 here with the interior pass rusher. I don't see a huge gap. So
right,
yeah, I'm with you. So number 7, please, for the love of God, let it be left tackle.
My number 7 is left tackle.
Thank goodness.
Now the reason it slid so much compared to some of the others is because I view offensive line as a weakest link group. You still need a great left tackle.
Yes.
But it's more of like I will prioritize getting these high-end guys at these other positions. And then for the whole offensive line, like the rest of this offensive line is not too far behind left tackle in terms of this value. It's more of like I'll take a little bit less at what the top end of that offensive line is going to look like if I raise what the bottom end is going to look like and have a more cohesive unit. So left tackle slid a bit to 7.
I'm in agreement with you on offensive line being a weakest link position. However, the only hang up with left tackle is that that's your blind side for every quarterback in the league not named Tua Tagovailoa. And
Tua is actually my quarterback.
Oh well then right tackle should be of higher importance than left tackle. But
no.
And like for 31 teams in the league, this is the most important position on the offensive line. And even for Miami, they have Teron Armstead at left tackle. Which
side note, it surprised me when they spent that much money on him compared to other teams. I know they would still want a good left tackle, but I was like, you would think they'd be less desperate than other teams, and other teams would be more willing to spend big money.
They also extended Austin Jackson at right tackle. They really like Austin Jackson. so
Yeah.
they gave him a bag too. They just wanted both tackles to be shored up, which both tackles are important, as I'll get
Which
to
makes
soon
sense,
enough.
but just it just shocked me that was the team.
So I will admit you have actually swayed me here a bit,
Mm-hmm.
because I had wide receiver 2 a bit lower. Now
Uh-huh.
it was still top 10 for me,
Right.
and then even then, I think all 22 positions are important to a degree.
Yes.
Like, there is no
Yeah.
such thing as like a guy that you can lose and you just don't miss a beat. Like,
Yeah. This is
it
the
all
ultimate.
matters.
I think this is the more of a team sport than any other professional sport.
Yeah, this though it's very all encompassing. But my number 7, you have swayed me. I have moved wide receiver 2 up the board. So, like, I kind of talked myself into it when I was talking about, a lot of teams in the league being, timing based rather than protection based in terms of, this quick passing schemes, like get the ball out, give it to your playmakers in space. And I've even been thinking recently, like when we did our mock draft, I was like, oh yeah, Joe Alt, obvious, number 7, lock it in. I do not feel that way presently. Like, as I'm sitting here now, as I watch more Malik Neighbors, as I watch more Roma Dunze, I am like talking myself into like possibly even watching one of them more than Joe Alt. And mind you, my team already has Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins, but like having 3 reliable wide receivers without even having a left tackle is enticing to me because I know what offense Tennessee's running. And I don't. This is not meant to be a Titan segment, of course, but I'm thinking about it now, and I don't think it's fair for me to approach, team building for my own favorite team in a certain way, and then look at it in this lens and say, oh no, wide receiver 2 is actually not as important as I thought. No, it is, because I want my team to take a wide receiver at 7 potentially. Like I'd be happy with Joe Alt, Roma Dunze, or Malik Neighbors, but I am less sure now that I would like take Alt if all 3, which all 3 are not going to be available. Probably 2 of them are going to be gone, but. Yeah,
there's a very real chance Alt's all that's left.
If the Chargers stick and pick, he's going there. More than likely. Even with them losing both receivers, like everything Jim Harbaugh says is like offensive line, offensive line, offensive line, offensive line. So we'll see. But wide receiver 2, number 7 for me. Like you got to have pass catchers. If you only have one guy, teams can scheme around him. Like obviously, dominant wide receiver ones are gonna win no matter what. But teams can still, there are means to shut them down. It's much harder to shut down multiple wide receivers. So wide receiver 2 for me has moved up the board and is here at number 7. And I'm going to adjust my board here just to be sure.
Well, while you do that, I'll talk about my number 8.
It's a good idea
here. So I talked about offensive line, and we're going back to back offensive line positions here. This one I feel like it gets kind of discredited and underrated in terms of teams valuing them. But at number 8, I went with the center.
I will kiss you. I have center pretty high up as well. I'm sorry for. We're not. It's not going to be too far before I talk about center. Yes, great. Keep going. Sorry
the brain of the offensive line. I just talked about how important I value like pressure up the middle. Yes. How do you stop that? Good interior offensive lineman. And I understand that most of the time, or a lot of times, centers are part of double teams on whoever's coming up there.
Almost always. Very rarely are they on an island, but they're also communicating to the entire offense.
Yeah.
That
brain that they need to have.
Line. Yeah.
The relationship they're going to have with the quarterback, which I put as number 1 most valuable. It's
very
important
undervalued position. Like you often don't see teams taking them until round 3 and 4. I think if a center is like you rarely see centers go around 1. And in my opinion, if you are like if a center prospect is really that good, just take him in the first round. You will not regret it. Like, did the Cowboys regret taking Travis Frederick?
No.
Do the Ravens regret taking Tyler Linderbaum? Like, if a team had taken Creed Humphrey round 1, would they have regretted it? No, hell no. Because they're just great players.
Was Kelsey worth? Would he have been worth what he had done as a first round pick?
Absolutely, no question about it. And like if Graham Barton plays center when he gets drafted, like he's probably a back of the first round guy. If he ends up playing center, whoever drafts him is not going to regret that. If Jackson Powers Johnson goes round 1, I don't think the team that picks him is going to regret that either. I think he's a phenomenal center prospect. Like, such an underrated position. And I get it, like, not every position is going to get the flowers they deserve, especially offensive line. But I think people they look too much at the fact that centers are almost never on an island, and they ignore the fact that you have to, one, be able to communicate, and two, have to be able to snap and then immediately get to your block. Right, it's not easy to play center. One of the toughest positions in the league, I would argue. It's not a fun job. It's a thankless job, evidently, because people don't see the value in center. So I'm very glad you put center as high as you did. I am just a little lower on it than you are, but we'll get there soon.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
That was your number.
That was 8. Yeah, okay. So you're 8.
Center was 8 for me until I just jumped wide receiver 2 up.
Okay.
8 for me now is right tackle. I do still view both tackle spots as more important than the center, regardless of what your quarterback's blind side is, because that edge pressure is so important to contain. There are too many teams in the league that are 2, 3, even 4 deep at edge, and like you said, offensive line is a weakest link position, and there are too many teams now that like to move their edges. Like T.J. Watt plays both sides. Micah Parsons plays both sides. There are too many teams that like to move their edge rushers around. If your left tackle,
in terms of weakest link talk, like Micah will attack anywhere,
right,
on the offensive line,
right. So if you've got one shut down pass protecting tackle, they're just going to move their best edge to the other side, let him go to work on your other tackle if he stinks. Like, okay, I'm so glad you have an elite left tackle. TJ Watt's going to beat up like whoever, like whatever garbage you got at right tackle. Like it doesn't matter. Look, they're going to get moved around. That's just how it works.
Yep.
And you have to have both tackle spots filled. You're number 9, sir.
My number 9. Talked about the value of wide receiver 2. That's going to translate into a high value of cornerback 2. That's where I got at number 9, CB2. I mean, it just I don't know how I go on a spiel here without sounding redundant when talking about how valuable multiple wide receivers are on the field. That's going to translate to, well, it'll just be easier to cover him if we were able to have a good player on him. Maybe we have to double elsewhere, but having a good CB2, I mean, it allows you more freedom to move around, like where you need to send a double team to,
fair enough,
how you can play the run, if you trust your cornerbacks going one-on-one. But yeah, CB2 sitting at 9.
Number 9 for me. I will not spend much time on it because I just sucked the dick of this position about 2 minutes ago. That'd be the center. Like we said, communication, interior pressure, all the above. Way too important. Love it. Love centers. Shout out centers. Shout out Lloyd Cushenberry, Big Cush. Cannot wait to watch him block for Will Levis this year. Your number 10, good sir.
Well, my number 10 was your number 9. I got right tackle.
Okay.
At 10. I do value the edge being set with the offensive line like you did. The brain of the center is what made it be the offensive line I went
totally
with over.
That. I don't disrespect that.
We ultimately agree on where the strong points of the offensive line need to be. I mean, obviously you want every single spot to be strong. But
ideally, all 5 of them are all pros. And
that would be amazing.
If you're the 2022 Philadelphia Eagles, that's kind of what you want.
Was that 2016 Cowboys?
Oh, yeah, that team as well. Yeah. Or even just present-day Cowboys, like, depending on who they
we'll see. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We got some questions.
I do think it's going to be offensive lineman round 1 for Dallas. We'll see.
I think it'll be 2. Don't know. It could be interior if certain guys, like, if Jackson Power Johnson's sitting there, I wouldn't hate snagging him. We'll see.
I think Graham Barton would be great because he's got. I think he's an interior guy. I don't think he's a tackle, but theoretically he has 5 position versatility. So if you're Dallas, you just slap your line together at whatever order during training camp, see what works best for you, and just roll.
I'll trust whoever we take because, like drafting, I trust the Cowboys, especially in the first round, especially drafting that in that position group. But anyways, right tackle. For my 10.
My phone doesn't shut off. Number 10. This is my first, maybe a little controversial selection here, having this one in my top 10. It's a position I actually think is more important than a true CB2, and that is the nickel. And the way I look at this is how many... First of all, they have a much greater job in run defense than your CB1 or your CB2 do. They are very important in run defense. defense. Your nickel has to be able to tackle. You want your corners to be able to tackle. It's still it's part of their job. Your nickel has to tackle. It's not an option. Not only that, how many great wide receiver ones in the league do we see play like 40% of their snaps in the slot? CeeDee Lamb makes a lot of money in the slot. Justin Jefferson plays in the slot a lot. Tyreek Hill plays in the slot a lot. You have to have good slot corners in this league because there are too many elite wide receiver ones, top 5 wide receivers that play too much in the slot. You have to have great slot corner play in the NFL. It's not optional. If you want your defense to be elite, you have to have an elite nickel. And ideally, you have to be too deep at nickel. You have to have a backup nickel you can trust to, like, at least fill in, because there's a lot of responsibility involved. And not to mention, if your nickel can blitz, that's a whole separate conversation. If you have a nickel who can get to the quarterback, depending on that's very scheme dependent. And really, in general, a lot of these positions are scheme dependent. Some defenses are going to value nickel more than others. I personally, in the defense, I would want to run as a coach. Nickel would be very important. And that's why it cracked into my top 10 here.
All right. 11.
Halfway
this is the
mark.
final of the top half.
Mm-hmm.
I went with edge 2, like the other side, whichever, But I think if I was also to include the first, like what I would value as the next backup after these first 22, like which third guy, it would be edge. I like cycling them in, keeping them fresh. But number 11, I'm going to go with edge 2. I need both edges set against the run. And then just getting to the quarterback. Like, the quarterback should not have any side he feels comfortable in.
Yeah.
I need havoc being wrecked both ways. So I'm going to put edge 2 at 11.
We're going to spend approximately 0 seconds here because I also have edge 2 at number 11. We're on the same page.
Wow. What a beauty.
Yep. And I'm with you in terms of edge 3 being like the most valuable, like that and swing tackle, of course, naturally. Like if the edge 3 is important, swing tackle should be important. So, I'm with you there. You can move on.
So then that would be my 12.
Number 12.
I'm going with tight end. I'm thinking if this has to be one who can block, I need a tight end who can block.
Okay.
And play in the middle. If you control the middle of the field, have a nice big safety net for the quarterback, I think that can be pretty valuable. I mean, we're seeing more and more tight ends come in and just be good right away, and we're seeing the effect that can have on an offense. Am I being swayed by how good Kelsey is, how good Kittle is, how good Sam Laporta is, how good Mark Andrews is? I mean, I'm naming guys. These are some studs, but I don't know. I just think
TJ Hawkinson as well.
TJ Hawkinson, can't believe I forgot my fantasy savior most years.
Kyle Pitts, if you can call him a tight end, and if he can stay on the field. Yep. And if he gets targets. Quite a lot of stipulations there, actually.
Jake Ferguson.
Chigo Okonkwo this year. Josh Wiley.
The versatility of the position is going to put it at 12 for me.
I think that's fair. I'm probably a little lower on this than in general, and I did not like where I have tight end. We'll talk about more when I get to it. This one I think is almost more scheme dependent than really almost all of them. And also there's really only 5, maybe 6 like truly game breaking tight ends in the league, and even then a lot of them have a hard time staying healthy. So it's a big question of how important really is this. However, in terms of you wanting a security blanket for your quarterback at your 12th spot, I actually have slot wide receiver here at number 12. So I'm with you. I think security blankets are important. I think controlling the middle of the field is important. Slot wide receivers are going to attack the middle of the field, mostly short and intermediate. And quarterbacks, gotta look for them a lot because it's a secure spot, open hole in the zone or quick release off the line, beat his man, whatever the case may be. It's good to have. It's good to have, especially with how many good nickels there are in the league now. Get you a guy that can win. So, yeah, to me, I think nickels or slot wide receiver quite important. I'm gonna go with that at number 12.
My 13. I just it really could be either of them, but I just put left guard.
I went 13 and 14. I went left guard and right guard. Do you want to just do that?
Yeah, because that's also what I also have them going 13, 14.
Okay, 13, 14, I also have left guard, right guard. So we actually have quite a bit here running pretty similarly.
Yeah, there's just little
Yeah,
differences, but yeah,
gotta fill out the offensive line spots.
yeah. I didn't want any offensive line position to be too low because then
Mhm.
it just feels like there's somewhere you can exploit on the
Yep.
offensive line, which I would never want.
It's a weakest link
Um,
at the end of the day. And if
yeah,
you have a weak link, good defensive coordinator will find a way to exploit it. So you have to
yeah.
shore
And
up
then
every
we talk about
position.
how good pressure up the middle can do a defense. So got to get that middle of your offensive line
Yep.
solidified.
Yep.
Yeah,
Um, I actually, my 15 and 16 are also interchangeable.
mine aren't.
Okay. Give me your 15 then.
15, I went with the other D tackle slot.
Okay.
Just
Fair
I
enough.
need a big boy up there
Space
helping stuff
eater.
the run.
Yeah. I'm a good bit lower on that than you are, but I understand.
Yeah. I
15.
mean, I was just thinking about how I value some of the other positions that are
Mhm.
normally like for the run, and I value them a little bit lower, so it kind of boosted that one's value up
Okay.
to help against the run.
15 for me. If I had to pick one of these two, I'm going to go with free safety because it is generally a
Okay.
little bit more coverage responsibility and it is still a passing league. So if I had to pick one of these to be more important, and a lot of defenses, the two are interchangeable. You just have two safeties that you kind of mix around a lot. You see that a lot in like the Fangio scheme and whatnot. Like
Hmm.
any team with like two high safety, a lot of times they are interchangeable. They both do similar things. That's how a lot of DCs like it. And but for me, if you're going with traditional responsibilities, I think free safety is a tad bit more important, just because of the coverage
I
responsibility involved.
agree because my 16 is free safety.
Okay,
I'm just thinking of a guy flying around, a nice little ball hawk.
yeah, a little Kevin Byard,
Yeah.
a little Justin Simmons, Jesse Bates. Yeah, my 16 is strong safety because,
Okay.
like I said, there are a lot of teams that do view these positions the same, or at the very least, very similarly, and a lot of teams they share similar responsibilities. And in general, like even traditionally, like strong safety is still a very valuable position. You have to have a guy that can come down and run support. Um, have to have a guy that can make some hits, secure tackler. So strong safety for me still a very valuable position. And in general, a lot of the better defenses in the league typically do have good safety play. Granted, best teams in the league just have good play everywhere. But like we said, all positions are valuable. It's just tough to rank them. But yeah, I think if you're gonna have free safety at 15, I think strong safety at 16 for me follows pretty naturally.
Yeah. So then my 17, I went with linebacker.
Okay,
Um,
LB1 more specifically.
yeah,
Right.
LB1 is what I got listed as here. Um, I just that middle level guy. Um, if he could cover, that would be beautiful. But I'm
Mhm.
just thinking running around, keeping everything in front,
Yep.
helping with the run, filling in gaps where needed. Um, just just being a menace.
Yep. We do have a sleeping Bowie on the cam here, so I just
Do a
thought
quick
I'd share
linebacker
that.
drill on him.
Yeah. Well, let's run some Oklahoma drills, buddy. He woke up. He don't want it. He don't want it.
No, I think he wants it, bro. That's why he woke up.
Also, the communication aspect of your linebacker one. They're
Yeah.
usually more often than not that's your guy wearing the green dot. Occasionally, you'll see like a safety wearing the green dot. It's very rare. Usually it is your LB1 wearing it, and But in terms of like that really is the only truly important component of the position. Everything else is something you can get somewhere else, and it sucks to say that because like truly great linebackers will absolutely affect the game. We saw the Super Bowl when Dre Greenlaw went down, like made a huge difference for San Francisco's defense. And
Mhm.
again, that's any great player at any position. If they get hurt, it's going to cause problems. There is no like replacing an elite starter anywhere. Um, but yeah, my what are we at now? Number 17.
Yes, 17.
My number 17. I finally have CB2.
Mm,
CB2 is
took a minute.
the reason it took me a little bit is because if you have an elite like shutdown number one corner and you have an elite nickel, you can kind of scheme defensively a little bit to like scheme your coverages a bit more to take away a second option rather than necessarily have to rely on a dominant CB2 to cover a dominant wide receiver 2. It's the wide receiver 1 is your biggest focus, and then shutting down the middle of the field should be focus number 2. And then you can almost live sometimes with the wide receiver 2 doing a little bit of work on you because your priorities are already taken care of. So now that I don't value CB2, but in terms of like, would I rather have Roger McCreary go down for the season or Chido Awuzie go down for the season? I'd gun to my head, I'd rather Chido Awuzie go down for the season because I want to cover the middle of the field. And I know L'Jarius Sneed is plenty good enough to shut down whoever the wide receiver 1 is. So it's what's great about your team having 3 great corners. You can look at it that way. But anywho, moving on.
Yeah, Cowboys had that last year until Diggs went down, and I think it
Um,
was noticeable because he went down and then Van Der Esch went down too, which that sucks. He retired now.
Number 18, sir. Where we at?
So I went with maybe the position that has felt a decrease in value unlike any other.
Oh boy.
I went with the running back at 18.
Here we are.
I'm thinking of a guy who can not only run but can get out there a little bit and catch a couple passes. As much as I love a workhorse in today's NFL, I'd be going running back by committee.
Yeah.
Which because I'm big into fantasy, so I need there to be workhorses in the NFL to make it easy to pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to go with by committee. So it's just I'm thinking only one on the field. Like by committee, you're not having 2 out there, so they're swapping in
Sometimes
and out.
you
Unlike
do, but yeah,
sometimes, but it's not like wide receiver 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So running back, its value, its contract value has dropped down. Like relative to other positions, dropped down, and then here on this chart here, it now sits at 18.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine releasing this in like the 90s.
Goodness gracious.
What the fuck? Running back 18.
I mean, it's sad, but like if you look at elite running backs, who actually feels it when one goes down? Like San Francisco would be the only, and even then, Kyle Shanahan's got some of the best run schemes in the league. So
yeah,
it's not like they'd be in a disastrous, but like Elijah Mitchell, assuming he's healthy, which he almost never is still a great player. So like, even if CMC goes down, they're not like dead in the water. Now it would be huge. I think like again that'd be the most felt loss. But like Nick Chubb went down for the season, and Cleveland had a great year. They had Joe Flacco tossing bombs and went like 5-1 with him or 4-1 with him as the starter to finish the year. And when Derrick Henry went down a couple of years ago, missed more than half the season. Tennessee finishes the number 1 seed, right? Like. As great as these elite running backs, and Henry was going to go for 2,000 yards again that year. He was going to be the first running back to do it 2 years in a row. Like that was going to be a monstrous season. Like book it, that is a surefire Hall of Fame status. Doing that 2 years in a row, and he went down, and Tennessee finishes the one. Now we all know what happened in the postseason. All right, but hey, Brian Callahan has more playoff wins in Nissan Stadium than Mike Vrabel does. So shout out Brian Callahan. Yeah, I'm with you. It's sad.
Random ass Vrabel slander.
Gotta get it in where I can, man. It's sad to see because good running backs are so fun to watch, and it really does feel like at times they can make a difference. And it's only when you don't have them that you realize. For most teams, they just don't. When Saquon went down a couple years ago, the Giants definitely felt that, and like San Francisco would feel it if CMC went down. But,
and the Cowboys were Zekeless for those 6 games.
Yeah, like it can be noticeable, but generally speaking, next man up. As long as your offensive line can block, as long as your coach can scheme up good run plays, you can live without it. So, 18 for me. I've got tight end, and this one it's a little lower for me because there are just so few that really make a difference in the league. And even then, it's such a scheme-dependent position. I mean, every position is, but there are a few teams in the league that really treat the tight end like Kansas City does, or like San Francisco does, or like Baltimore does, or Detroit, or Minnesota.
Although you were naming like a lot of the top teams in the league.
And that's fair. Like, well,
Like
okay.
I think 3 out of the three of them you just said were 3 of the final 4.
Yeah, and I don't disagree. Well, actually, all 4 of the AFC Championship teams had elite tight ends, or all 4 of the Conference Championship teams had elite tight ends. It was Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and Sam Laporta. Well, I don't personally know if I'd call Laporta an elite tight end. That's not slander. I like Sam Laporta. I think he's a very scheme-dependent tight end. I think if Ben Johnson had taken a head coaching job this year, there would be a lot of Sam Laporta fantasy owners that'd be very disappointed next year. Personally, that's what. Not that he'd be useless, but he would not get the production he had this year. I think Ben Johnson is doing a lot of work to hide some of Laporta's deficiencies, and he's making the most of what Laporta's good at, which is not.
He ain't got
Laporta's
no
fault.
deficiencies.
Blocking. He can't do that very well. Catching the ball sometimes, not his strong suit. But
the 2 things that a tight end does. You just called him trash, essentially.
No. I was higher on Laporta.
I'm reading between the lines here.
In terms of the draft community, a lot of people hated Laporta coming out. I liked Laporta well enough, and Detroit was obviously a great destination for him, and I still like Laporta a lot. But he's not he's in terms of production, yeah, he's fantastic. But is he in the same caliber of player as Andrews, Hawkinson, Kelce, and Kittle? No, definitely not. He's not those players.
He's in that. He's top of the next tier, though.
He's in the next tier, absolutely.
Top of the next tier.
Sure. Granted, but who's his competition? Because again, really after the top 5, there's
Mark Andrews backup.
There, I get Charlie Kolar, Isaiah Likely, I don't know, who
Jake
really
Ferguson.
Jake Ferguson. But I mean, who really
Dalton
is
Schultz.
Schultz is not good. Schultz is fine. Schultz isn't good. How many great tight ends are there in the NFL? There's 6. Let's be real. For the most part, yeah. I know. I'm including Laporta in the 6 in terms of tight ends that make an impact. There's 6 guys generally that game to game will make a serious impact. It's not that important in the sense that most teams could lose their tight end and not lose a single minute of sleep. They'd be fine. Vast majority of offenses in the league would be
dude, if I tore my ACL and then I heard coach isn't missing a minute of sleep, I'm like, okay, I don't want to hear that.
Well, again, we're down to the weeds here. We're at number 18. It just is what it is. I love tight end. I love great tight ends. I love decent tight ends. Jig Okonkwo is awesome. I love Jig. I love role-specific tight ends. I love tight ends that just do a little something nice, right? Which is most of them, if we're being honest. A lot of teams run a lot of 12 personnel. A lot of teams use their tight ends differently. A lot of teams tight end is almost like running back, where some teams do it by committee, because it's just unless there's very few tight ends in the league that can do it all. Some teams want a guy who's a more vertical wide tight end. Some teams want another guy who's an H-back. Some teams want another guy who's a block. You have to be 3 deep at tight end because it's such a role specific, scheme specific position. You just have different guys doing different things. Mm-hmm. I'm going way too long on the tight end here. It's my 18th spot.
Anyways, he hates the tight end. My number 19 is wide receiver 3.
Mm-hmm.
Just probably the biggest gap in between pairs of positions between wide receiver 2, which I had at 6, and then wide receiver 3 is all the way at 19. Part of that is because of where I valued the tight end as a receiving threat, so it pushed it down. Wide receiver 1 and 2, obviously. So wide receiver 3, I just need the occasional play from you. Can you give me 1 play a game? I think that's all I'm really asking from him, because I have running back ahead of him. So what I get from the run game, and then what receiving threat that the running back could be, tight end, wide receiver 1 and 2, wide receiver 3, just make a play. 1 play a game. That's all I need from you.
My number 19, running back. So we talked about it a lot already. I'm not going to go too much into this. Personally, I do prefer committees. It just makes more sense in today's NFL, rather than paying one guy who's good at everything. Unfortunately, and it sucks because ideally, if you're really good at everything, you do deserve a higher contract. That should be how it works. And it sucks that isn't necessarily how it goes. But at the end of the day, it's just more viable for teams to just have 2 guys they aren't paying a whole lot, or even 3 guys. That all either do different things or have similar skill sets, but are at least a little bit, different. They don't want completely interchangeable guys necessarily, unless you do have 2 do-it-all guys. But at that point, it's just not much need. It's just running production can be schemed. You see it every year. The guy goes down, and like even when CMC went down for the Panthers a few years ago, and then Mike Davis was just awesome. I mean, he stunk the next year in Atlanta, but was like one of the best like backup running backs. Like you saw Deontay Foreman and Dontrell Hilliard put up great numbers in Tennessee when Derrick Henry went down. Like you can live without him. Even the great running backs, you can almost always live without him. So yeah, 19.
So then my 20 is CB3.
It's about damn time. Disrespectful.
I guess it's because of how I value the tight end. I'm just gonna view a corner on him as almost a mismatch.
Depends on how big
that's only again, like you said, that's only the case really for like 6 guys. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I just think with the other corners, the defense, the pass rush playing its part, I think it just pushed this position down all the way to here.
Fair enough. 20 for me. I got LB1. I know it took me a while. But like I said before, other than communicating, which is important, obviously, every position in the league is important. Other than communication, there's just not a whole lot of importance to the linebacker position. Everything else a linebacker does, you can reliably replace elsewhere. If your D line's good enough, you don't necessarily have to worry about stopping the run because somebody's going to win up front. And even if they don't, they're eating enough space to where whatever linebacker you do have, generally speaking, those guys can tackle. Like even replacement level linebackers can tackle. That is like their primary function, at least some of them. So like Kiko Alonso led the league in tackles, or at least was close a few years ago, and nobody thought he was an all-pro caliber player, right? Like if you've got enough guys up front that are doing their job, you can have a replacement level starter at linebacker. Not that you want one, but you can live with it. Like if that's your weakest link on defense is your off-ball linebackers, if you're a defense coordinator, you're not losing a ton of sleep over it. So, yeah, linebacker 1, number 20.
All right, so mine 21. I went with strong safety.
Okay.
I'm just because I'm thinking I'm relying on everything that's more up front to stop the run.
Okay.
And then I'm just relying on everybody else in coverage more so than them to help defend the pass.
Okay.
So it just kind of leads them as this odd man out. Still would want a good one, obviously, which, I mean, needless to say, we pretty much have said that for all these lower ranked positions. You want a good one, but in terms of value, they get the short end of the stick here.
There are just some
push
positions
down.
You can live without. And depending on what defense you're running, you don't need an elite safety duo. If you're running a lot of single high, you just want that rangy free safety, a lot more than you want the strong safety, come down in the box and hit a guy,
Yeah.
If you're running single high coverage in particular, which a good chunk of the league does often.
Yeah. Because to me, if this strong safety is making an impact play, it means somebody else fucked up.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So they're just pushed down to 21 here.
21 for me is nose tackle. I love space eaters. However, it's such an easily replaceable position, as sad as that is. Now, obviously elite nose tackles like Snacks a few years ago, those guys get paid a lot of money.
I think I'm coming from the Cowboy fan perspective where we've had bad nose tackles where I'm like, I see the impact of when you don't have one and you're not able to stop the run effectively because of it.
Fair enough.
So it's just a more bitter taste in my mouth.
I've seen the Titans sign an undrafted free agent nose tackle pretty much every year in the Vrabel John Robinson era, and then they always turned out to be pretty good players. And Tier Tart was a 3-year
the Titans are known for being able to spot talent, so that's not surprising.
Yeah, clearly. Such as Isaiah Wilson.
I mean, you guys drafted AJ Brown.
Didn't keep him for very long, but we sure did.
You guys traded him?
See, that's news to me.
I assumed he walked.
All right, what's your number 22?
My final one that just leaves linebacker 2.
We don't have to spend any time on this. My linebacker 2 is also my final spot. I think both agree it's a very replaceable position, especially if your LB1 is pretty good. You definitely don't need a good second linebacker necessarily.
Let's just run one linebacker and let's throw out 4 cornerbacks.
Yeah, let's just live in dime personnel. Fuck it.
Okay, everybody, when you're 1-on-1.
Mm-hmm. No man wins.
And all the linebacker doing is spying the quarterback.
Yeah. Too many mobile QBs in the league now. You gotta have just put a spy on them, run the dime package. Wait, that's just prevent defense basically. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Live in it.
Those are our football position value rankings.
Shit.
You tell us what you guys agreed with most and what you disagreed with most.
Tell me why my ranking is better than Brayden's in the comments down below.
And let me know why I'm such a fucking idiot for having left tackle low, which I bet would be the number one complaint.
Low. You have it 7th. Like, it's not ridiculous.
No, but I can hear it. I had wide receiver 2 and a D tackle above it. I bet that's where people would be mad.
I don't think having interior pass rush above left tackle is egregious. I don't even think wide receiver 2 is egregious. I definitely wouldn't agree with it, but I think I understand.
But see, but you're being level headed.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm not a
this
YouTube
is going out
commenter. I'm a guy talking to you face to face, and I'm a good friend of yours. So,
yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, those are the positions, guys.
Now, are we playing Wavelength?
Yeah, let's play Wavelength.
We sure are.
How do we do this? Who's going first?
Like who's guessing first?
Yeah, who's guessing? Who's
I'll guess first.
Asking for the hints.
I'll guess first.
Okay, you'll guess first, so I got to pick a number.
Okay. And then I'll close my eyes.
All right, yeah, close your eyes.
Show the audience.
I don't think I'm trying to remember. I don't even remember what numbers we did last time.
You did 8, I think. No, you did.
You don't even tell me. Just close your eyes. I'll just completely
7,
with nothing in mind. Okay, guys. All right. You can open your eyes.
7 because I told you were underrating Jalen Waddle. I remember. I can open my eyes?
That's correct. Yeah, you can open your eyes. Okay. The number has been revealed to the people who wanted to see it.
Okay.
5. We did 5 questions, right?
5 questions. Yeah, and I'm asking for hints.
Yeah, ask away, buddy.
Okay. Edge rusher.
Edge rusher. Oh shit! I got to think of NFL players right now. I'll be honest. Out of season, the names of players leave my mind.
If it takes you too long, you can always come up with something else.
I will go with I'll just go close to home. As of right now, I would say let's go with Sam Williams.
That is an interesting one. I have no idea where this could be. Anywhere between like 4 and 6, I guess. Maybe I don't know. Maybe even 3. I don't know. Like I think I don't know. I think I have a good read on this one.
Okay, but I went with that one for now. Breakout season loading, but I got to go with right now.
Breakout season loading. I agree. In fact, you being a little optimistic about it leads me to believe I was right to be maybe a little higher.
Oh, let me not sway you.
5 or 6 range there. I do like Sam Williams a lot, but Pokemon starters.
I guess I gotta go with my own opinions.
Yeah, well, yes. I wouldn't expect you to go.
Well, yeah, because I just want to keep that in mind because I'm trying to remember what we agree on and what we don't agree on.
Okay.
Let me take a look.
I mean, I don't necessarily hate anything except for like Inteleon. I think it's fucking ugly.
Yeah,
but even
I will go with.
Lore, so.
You know what? I think I'm a little higher on this one than maybe some others, but I'm still gonna go with it. Mm-hmm. That was a hint that I shouldn't have said. Ignore what I said. But I'm going to go with Tepig.
I do feel pretty firm about 6 being the number so far. Because I do remember you liking Tepig a bit more than usual. And then Sam Williams, breakout season loading. If it's not 6, it's 5. It can't be lower than 5. I think it's 6, though, for now. Weather conditions.
Let's go with... foggy. Let's go with foggy.
See, I guess you must fuck with fog more than I do. I hate that shit. I mean, I like looking at it.
Do I?
I don't
You
like
don't
driving
know.
in it. All right, let's go with Power Rangers seasons. This is number 4, I think, right?
You keep burning this. You're not gonna.
Is this number 4?
This is 4.
Yeah.
Okay, let me. The problem with me though is, well, that might be a hint if I tell you what I'm struggling with when saying this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go. See, this one is really not gonna help you, but I'm gonna go with Lightspeed Rescue.
No, I think I think I still feel pretty firmly at 6 so far. All right.
I feel like that question would only help you if I said like Samurai, because I've been so vocal about how much I hate it.
Well, then it'd be at 1.
Like, oh, whoa, you're weird on. You've got weird opinions. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Lightspeed Rescue.
I just had my 5th one in mind. I just lost it. Son of a bitch. Exercises at the gym.
Let's go with. What could fit? What exercise fits at the gym for this one? Let's go with assisted pull-ups.
I got no idea where that threw me off more than anything. I made a mistake. I'm definitely picking between 5 or 6 just based off your previous ones. And if anything, I think I'm gonna lock in 6, and if it's 5, I can live with it. Final answer 6.
Well, you're locking in 6?
Locking in 6.
Well, you could live with it because it was 5.
Okay, see, yeah, that's where I knew it was one of those 2. I just couldn't figure out quite where. That's fine. That's fine. I don't feel too bad about that one.
Okay. All right. So now I close my eyes and you flash up a number.
All right, the audience has seen it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Shit, I gotta think of questions. School lunch.
The bagel pizza, but the one with the cheese that tasted like plastic.
Okay. Bagel pizza, the one that I'm trying to remember.
You ever have them? Maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, I've had multiple. There's been multiple like pizza, like family members that schools have rolled out in front of me.
It's like a whole bagel. Well, it's like the bottom half of a bagel. And it's like pizza. It's sauce, cheese, but the cheese was very plasticky.
Okay, that plasticky part is gonna cap it, but this could, honest to God, be anywhere from like 3 to 7.
Damn.
Huge range because I have no idea. I really don't.
Yeah.
Let's go. Give me a Pokemon game. It doesn't have to be mainline, but any Pokemon game.
That's a tough one. I'm gonna go. Ow.
I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna have to go with Sword and Shield.
Okay, so this is the lower side that just capped it from like anywhere from 2 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one. That was a good one. It got rid of the above 5.
I haven't played enough like spin. I mean, I've played a decent number of spin-offs, but all the spin-offs I've played are like really good. Which is the problem. I've played like Mystery Dungeon and shit. Like I haven't touched anything like bad. So
okay. No, Sword and Shield was good. It gives me a little more clarity here. Let's go with Give me an NFL head coach.
Active?
Yeah, let's do active.
Active. Let me think about this one for a second. This one it might be a minute.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
This is a tough one. This is a really
tough one.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
If it's too tough, we can open it to all time.
I'll think a little harder about it, and then we can open up the floor a little bit. I'm like cycling through divisions right now. Like, who's got? Even if we opened it up, I'm not sure who I'd pick.
I can just do a different question.
If you want.
Okay.
You can still make it football related if you want to, but I don't know if I can do a head coach.
Let's go with Cartoon Network show.
Steven Universe.
Okay, I don't know where you stand on it. I know it has its fans.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been weird every time I saw it. I wish I knew where you stood on it. Because I'll stick
3 for you, right? I think
that would be that's 3. And I think I'm sitting at like 3 right now.
Okay.
Let's go with video game series.
Series.
Yeah.
Have I played enough video game series to even accurately put one here?
Would it be easier if I just dropped the series and just made a video game?
Maybe, but I might still have to think about it for a second.
Okay, let's just go video game then.
Spider-Man Friend or Foe. I don't know if you ever played that one.
You know, it's fun. I haven't, but I'm working on a history of every Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
Like video.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I just talked about it.
Okay.
But it's all blurring together, so I don't remember how distinctly I remember it. Friend or Foe. Let me. I'm gonna Google it. I won't look at like the review scores, but I think if I just see some frames of it.
Mind you, I have not played this game since I was like 7. So.
Okay, I remember this one.
I don't necessarily know what the barometer is on this. I just played it when I was young. But
this I think this probably brings me up to like a 4.
Okay.
I remember thinking this looked pretty cool, but that's different than playing it.
Yeah.
I'll sit at a 4. That raises me.
Okay. And then you've got
my final question left. Let's go with candy you could get for Halloween. Like trick-or-treating candy. Like what you're pulling out of the bag.
Almond Joy for me. Almond Joy.
Oh, you brought it back down. Okay. I would definitely hand those off to my parents.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go Almond Joy here.
Could it be as low as 2? Could it be as low as 2? What were the... Okay, Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield, Spider-Man Friend or Foe.
Steven Universe.
Almond Joy.
And I'm having a hard time remembering your other question right now.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Already forgot what the fuck I asked.
I forgot too.
Because I asked Cartoon Network show, that was Steven Universe.
Yeah.
I asked Pokemon game, that was Sword and Shield. Halloween candy was Almond Joy.
Video game was Spider-Man Friend or Foe.
Video game, Spider-Man Friend or Foe. Oh, school lunch. It was the bagel
School
thing.
Lunch, the bagel pizza with the plastic cheese.
I'm just gonna lock in at 3.
Final answer 3.
Final answer 3.
It was 2. Both of us went 1 high.
Damn.
Yep. And in all
Damn,
fairness,
I even
I really struggled to see like some things that were like as bad as 2.
Yeah.
Like NFL coaches, I would not have been able to do because like all the 2s and 1s just got fired. Like
Yeah.
the closest for me would have been like Dan Quinn, because like not even just the coach, but like the hire being like so lukewarm and like you just fired a retread. And
Damn, I even out loud was like, "Is it 2?
Yeah. And
Could it be 2? Damn.
Yeah, Steven Universe does have its fans. I am certainly not one of them.
I get picked up on
There is
that.
a large chunk of the writers who ended up being pedophiles. And not only that, like Gem Fusion in the show is confirmed to be like the show's equivalent of sex. And there are children that have fused on the show. Therefore, the show equivalent of child porn like exists. Like aired on the show. So, no, stinky, garbage. Get that shit out of here. Garbage.
Gross.
Yep.
All right. We'll pick up the energy now, and we'll move on to top 3 of the week. Fruits.
Fruit. I just got done dissing on a fruity TV show. Now we're talking about fruit. I don't dislike it because it's fruity, by the way. Got no issue with the fruitiness.
I do.
Not in my great country. Let me tell you something.
Not my Cartoon Network.
I like fruit. Brayden likes fruit.
I do like fruit.
Bowie probably likes fruit. I got to put him on.
I doubt Dirk does.
Some dogs do.
Go out on a limb and say he's not a fruit guy.
A lot of dogs do, but I get it.
All right, let's see. So do I go first?
You sure?
This is on going on yours. So
you sure do go first, yes, sir.
All right. Number 3. We're gonna go with the safe one, maybe the mascot of fruit. We're gonna go with the apple.
Go with the apple.
Preferably, how I prefer it, green apple. How do I prefer to eat it?
Mm-hmm.
Sliced. Not straight up.
You ever put any peanut butter on that, Joan?
Probably.
Okay.
Pretty common thing to do.
Yeah, I'm a big fan personally, especially honey roasted peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with apple at number 3. You know, mascot. It's safe. Used in a lot of different things. Succulent. When want it to be. Yeah.
Rotund.
Apple. My number 3. Your number 3, sir.
We have been in lockstep today because I've got apple at number 3 as well, and versatile.
We haven't been in lockstep. We've been just off of lockstep.
Well, we've had quite a few. Like we had both guard spots right next to each other. You know,
they're close. The problem is we're so close to being lockstep. When we did, because we just did wavelength. We were both a number off. We're just off.
We've been pretty good though today. I think the vibes are.
I think
similar.
We need to have sex if we really want to lock in.
That yeah, I'm with you. After the show, let's not let the good folks. They got to pay extra for that. All right.
Yeah.
This
wait for the Patreon.
Free. Okay. Now, with that being said, Apple, you got a whole lot of varieties in them bitches. Me personally, big Honey Crisp guy, big Granny Smith guy, Red Delicious. I do like me some green apples. Depends on the day. Sometimes they're a little sour for your boy. I like them a little sweeter. But generally speaking, there's not a single apple I will turn down. Like, there's no apple where I'm like, ew, I'm too good for this. No, I'm fucking that shit up. I'm tearing it up. Does not matter. So, apples for me. I'm with you. Apple number 3, lock it in.
Okay. My number 2. Now, I do enjoy them, but this is heavily carried by how much I love the smoothie flavor of this.
Okay.
My number 2 is mango. I enjoy. Are we? Whoa! Are we locking in?
Yo, my. Okay, I'm gonna let you finish.
All right.
I'm gonna let you finish.
It's I like it. I can enjoy mango by itself, but mango smoothies are bliss.
Oh yeah.
So good. Definitely my favorite smoothie flavor. That's really all I have to say on this.
I've got frozen mangoes in my freezer. You make me want to go like make one right now, like mango smoothie right this second. I'm not going to, but I'm considering it just based on the information presented to me. Yeah, I'm tearing that shit up every single time. They are so juicy, so sweet, so tasty. Great by themselves, like you said. Smoothies don't even get me started. Yeah, yeah. Mangoes go hard. Mango my number 2 as well. So,
I know we don't have the same one.
we're gonna find out.
No. I know we don't.
How do you know?
My number 1, unconventional.
Unconventional? Okay, yeah, we don't have the same.
The fruit itself is common.
Okay.
But liking it as your number 1 fruit
hang on now. Okay, keep going.
is not common.
Keep going.
Eating it straight up, not that common.
Oh.
Putting it in water, extremely common.
Okay, never mind.
I'm very curious what you thought it was.
All right. It's not what I thought it was. I was just kind of hoping we'd have the same number 1. We don't.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
My number 1, and I eat these. I can eat these like I eat the lemon sliced with the peel. Is lemon.
Okay.
I'll be fucking up some lemons.
I was not familiar with your game.
I was at the movies today.
Mm-hmm.
I had root beer and then I had like some food, but then I drank. It was a craft root beer, so So I decided to get a water.
Mm-hmm.
Had the lemon in it, let it soak, and then when it was when I drank all the water and the ice had melted, that perfect lemon bite was in there. Lemon definitely my favorite fruit.
All right. He's cleaning now. He's waking from his nap. My number 1.
Mm-hmm.
We just mentioned smoothies a second ago. This one right here is the poster child for fruit that belongs in a smoothie. This right here is a staple in nearly every smoothie. And it will take over the flavor of your smoothie completely. Okay. You can throw a pube of this in your smoothie. This is what your smoothie is going to taste like. It does not matter. Banana is my number 1 fruit. You can eat it by itself.
No, you can't.
You can shut the fuck up. You could chop it up. You can you can make like little sandwiches.
Throw it away.
You can eat it with peanut butter, honey, and cinnamon. You can make sandwiches.
I don't like bananas. If I haven't made that clear,
you can make sandwiches with it. You can. I like personally. My mom taught me this one. It's peanut butter, honey, and cinnamon in a tortilla. Delicious.
You know what the number 1 use for a banana is?
Smoothie.
Taking the peel, throwing it behind you, and causing a racer to spin out.
All right. And then when it gets rotten, you turn that shit into bread. I'm dead serious. I mean,
only thing I'd use a banana for is to shove up my ass and fuck myself with.
What other fruit are you turning into bread when it gets rotten? Rest of them, you're throwing that bitch away. Banana? Nope. Second life. Bread.
You're right. When they're ready to go, I throw them bitches away.
Bread.
Banana slander.
Bread. I can't
banana slander.
We were so locked in with apples and mangoes just for you to be shitting on banana. As if
what a divergence.
As if you don't eat mangoes or lemons just straight up. Do you not be
oh, yeah, I do,
Daddy. The juice in your eye when you eat them like that? Does it not just... Does that not happen?
Oh, dude, I've tried to eat them like apples where you just... And that is a juicy mess.
There's a juicy mess in my pants when you said that just now.
I can take getting squirted on a little bit if it's good enough.
Yeah.
Are we still talking about fruit? I don't know.
I think you should call me when we're done. I think you should come over.
Anyway, guys, if you want to see the rest of this, please go to our OnlyFans.
Subscribe to our Patreon. Yep. So, All right. Well, yeah. Like you said, we've almost been in lockstep today. This was like the prime example of how we were not in lockstep.
It's a prime example of how we were almost in lockstep. We got 3 and 2,
Until you just
wildly
started
different on one.
disrespecting the banana for no reason. Anywho, yeah, I love bananas. Shout out bananas. Number one. Brayden, what the fuck you been on?
What have I been on?
What you been on?
Well, today I went and saw a movie I had already seen before.
Doing 2 chicks at the same time.
Doing myself. I went by myself. Went and saw Dune 2.
Dune to others as I'd have Dune to myself.
Yeah.
So,
I after seeing it the first time, I was like, I will regret if I don't hear his speech and if I don't hear silence in theaters again. So today, had the day off, went and saw Dune 2.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful.
Doing 2 chicks at the same time. I still haven't seen it. So I need to rectify that at some point. Because it's not.
Are you fucking joking?
I keep wanting to rewatch the first movie first before I go see Dune 2, and I have yet to rewatch the first movie. I keep forgetting.
Oh my gosh. Because I had the first time I had seen it, I hadn't seen Dune 1. I went and saw Dune, the first one, like I watched it at home the night before, woke up, went and saw Dune 2 by myself.
Okay.
And oh my God, so worth it. So good.
Yep. What else? What else you been on lately? Is that it? Just the Dune 2? Well, Sport Hero as well, of course.
Sport Hero, finished up on. We'll be streaming Crazy Mini Golf.
Okay.
That'll be the next game I do in WeVault. I needed something that I know I could like stream once and make a video on, something I could do a lot quicker and a lot easier, because Sport Hero took a lot out of me in terms of actually having to play it. Because also it was hard at some points. Some points I was pulling my fucking hair out.
Yeah.
But so I had teased, because I'd seen this a long time ago because I was going to make a video for it. And I teased this series on the channel where I talk about shows canceled after one season. I finally got the yearbook edition, the special edition of Freaks and Geeks. So I'm rewatching it again. I'm listening to the commentaries that are on the DVDs to make the full in-depth video on the show. Okay. So that's something I've been on.
Okay. That's good shit.
It's a really good show. But yeah, that's I think that pretty much sums up what I've been on. What have you been on, good sir? Besides my penis.
So I listened to the new Vampire Weekend album today.
I didn't know you listen to music.
Fun fact. I listen to music.
Breaking news, guys. Jacob likes music.
My girlfriend recently showed me an EP. It's called Broken Bride by Ludo. It's a story. It's about like this guy, his wife dies, so he travels back in time to try to save his wife, but he travels too far back, so he's in like the Jurassic era, and then he's in like medieval times, and then he has to like fight a dragon and shit. It's so cool. It was interesting. It sounded good. Story was fun, and it had a nice little twist ending, and I enjoyed myself quite a lot. And then I showed her Black Star by David Bowie, and she loved it. As she should. I would have broken up with her on the spot.
Yeah, girlfriends usually lie.
I need Gabe. I need backup. You need to back me up. Excuse me.
We all know Bowie's overrated.
Gabe and I feel the same way about Bowie, where it's like Black Star and Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars constantly rotate as our favorite Bowie album. Shout out Bowie, the man. Shout out Bowie. Shout out Bowie. Shout out Bowie. I got a lot of Bowies in the background here. Love this little man though. Hi. And what? Whoa now. And
what?
What else? What else I've been doing? But been digesting a lot of NFL draft content here. Just getting the barometer on other people's perspectives, seeing how they feel, seeing if I'm really against the grain or if there's other people that feel the way I might on a certain a little bit of a hot take of mine. I think J.C. Latham is a guard. I do not think he is a tackle. I do not think he is a good enough mover to play tackle. I don't think he has the foot speed necessary. And him refusing to test at the combine and at his pro day is an even bigger red flag because I didn't really see it on film. And I don't have any measurables to back that up, to reinforce that he could play tackle at the next level. And He's a great run blocker. He's got an incredible anchor. Like he would be, I think, a plug and play day one right guard. Um, and I think if a team is willing to commit to him at guard, I think he'll be fine. But I see a lot of people saying Fuanga needs to move to guard. I would move Latham to guard before I move Fuanga to guard. I would let Fuanga fail at right tackle before I moved him inside to guard. Whereas Latham, I wouldn't even bother letting him fail at right tackle because I don't think he would succeed at tackle. And I hate to say that, like I don't want to be a hater. You know what I mean? Like I don't wish failure on this. Like when I have like I'll celebrate good draft takes that I have in terms of like this guy's a sleeper. Like if a guy that I'm higher on than consensus turns out to be a star, like I'll celebrate that all day. I'm not gonna celebrate, or at least I'll try not to celebrate being right about a guy being worse than people think he is, because now that means this guy's got less money. This guy can't take care of his family as well as he would have had I been wrong about him, right? Like I'm not gonna celebrate like, like if Latham is a bust, I'm not going to be like, fuck you, man. I told you guys he's not that good. No, I don't want Latham to be a bust. I want Latham to be a good NFL player. I want Latham to make some money. And I did see somebody else recently say Latham should be a guard. And, just seeing another, like seeing a YouTuber say it, like seeing somebody whose videos
I hear a lot of guard talk for him.
I see. I had not heard much guard talk at all for Latham. I have another friend of mine who runs a
in terms
page.
of like that he profiles to be it very well. Not outright. He can't really be a tackle like you're saying, but more of like I think I've heard like let him fail, like give him a chance at tackle, then move him in. I listen to I listen to the PFF pod, and I think that's where I heard it from.
Okay, see, I haven't watched the PFF pod. I was watching. I had come to this belief myself, and I was watching like that franchise guy came out with his tackle rankings yesterday, and I was like, okay, I'll watch his tackle ranking. And he had Latham at 6, which is definitely lower than consensus. And he flat out actually said, I think Latham's going to be a bust. But before he said that, he said, I think Latham's a guard. And I wouldn't go as far as to say Latham's a bust. Like I don't think he's like Alex Leatherwood to compare him to another Bama tackle. Like Leatherwood was like an obvious bust if there was going to be one. You know what I mean? Like just about nobody in the draft community really liked Alex Leatherwood. It was pretty much unanimously like Leatherwood's not that good, and then like the league's unnecessarily high on him. And yeah, everybody was right. Like Leatherwood's dunk. I don't think J.C. Latham is Alex Leatherwood, but I don't think he is a tackle. I think he's a guard. I think he's a good guard. I think he's a starting guard. I don't think he's a tackle. So like it was interesting to see. I know somebody else who has him as the 10th ranked player in the class. I am nowhere near that high on Latham, but I understood his analysis and I respect it. So I just like gathering info. I like seeing where other people's heads are at. I like hearing their reasoning. Especially there's a lot of offensive linemen in particular. There's a lot of great tackles in this class, but a lot of them project better as guards. Like I think Jordan Morgan would probably be a little better at guard. Some people think he should stick at tackle because he doesn't have a ton of play strength. I think that's fair. His arms are a little below the threshold for a tackle, and that's mostly why I don't want him to play guard. But I understand if maybe he's a Rashawn Slater type where having 32 and 3/4 inch arms is okay. It's good enough, and he'll be fine. We'll see. But yeah, just in general, a lot of NFL draft content, and it's interesting to hear where people at the quarterbacks ranked.
I've watched a lot of mock drafts and stuff, positional rankings.
Yeah, wide receiver's a fun one because there's a lot of like the draft community seems to be a bit higher on Malik Neighbors than the NFL, and the draft community seems to be a bit lower on Odunze than the NFL. And I don't know that I quite think there's a ton of separation between the two. I kind of feel like they're wide receiver 2A and 2B for me at this point in my evaluations.
There's a bigger gap. I'm going to tell you this right now. My opinion. Bigger gap between 3 and 4 than 1 and 3.
I think that's fair. Even then, number 4 for me is Brian Thomas Jr., who I love. Probably would have been wide receiver 1 last year, to be honest with you. Like I'd probably take Brian Thomas Jr. over Zay Flowers.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of different opinions on Brian Thomas Jr.
For sure, the top 3 wide receivers in this class, no question about it, by far and away would have been wide receiver 1 last year. Brian Thomas Jr. I think would have been my wide receiver 1 last year. And then
just in terms of talking about PFF, how I listen to them over there, that's where there's a huge split. There's a couple guys who have him 4 and love him. One of the main guys on the pod really does not like him. It
Interesting.
has him like way lower than everyone else. And the other guy on that pod, because there's two guys on the main pod, the other guy's also lower on him, but not to the extent of the other guy.
Gotcha. The only wide
They've got-
receiver I think I'm like drastically lower on the consensus is Troy Franklin. Having a double-digit career drop percentage is not good, especially when you don't have any like. There's no trajectory over his career of getting better about dropping passes. He's just always had bad hands. His frame as well. He's like rail thin, and he's not like Devontae Smith where you saw him win physically in college, so it doesn't worry you as much. Like no, this guy is a true speed threat, and like I don't want to say he's Tyquan Thornton. I don't think he's quite like he's got a little more bag to him than Tyquan Thornton did, but I don't think he's like a borderline first round prospect. Like I think he's firmly like a late second rounder for me. I don't see the hype necessarily with Troy Franklin. And then Tez Walker, but there's a lot of people low on Tez Walker. Like it's not a hot take to say he's like a third round kind of guy. Like some people are really really high on him, which I don't see. Like I see the size, the speed, and whatnot. I don't see the ability, like that he's shown to say that he's, at that point. But yeah, anywho, for what I've been on,
of all the prospects you've seen, who do you think the Cowboys should take? Let me know as a fan of the Cowboys.
Like round one or just in general? Like
round one.
Okay.
That has some level of realism to be there when they pick.
He might not be there because I really do think Seattle could take him, but I'm like dream scenario. I'm gonna say Graham Barton, just because of the positional flexibility on the interior, especially. Like, if you want him to play center, just put him at center. If you want him to play guard, put him at guard. But like you can run different combinations and then just kind of figure it out where his best position is. But I would love Graham Barton in Dallas. He's not gonna be there, but like if somehow Byron Murphy fell to Dallas, like you can almost take that in a heartbeat because they could just really use interior help. I wouldn't hate Johnny Newton. He's just not like big, and like Byron Murphy isn't a huge interior guy either, but he plays bigger than the next couple of like smaller guys. Whereas like Johnny Newton to me is more of like a 3-tech, and probably not like the greatest scheme fit in Dallas. Maybe later in the draft, like if you want to try and take a swing at another nose tackle, go ahead and take Tavondre Sweat in like the 4th round. But I would say 4th round because of the recent legal issues. He's probably maybe if that affects him, he won't go 3rd round anymore. So if he's there around 4, does Dallas even have a 4th rounder? I don't know. I don't know what picks Dallas has, but if he's available and it's like a reasonable spot to take him, sure. Like go ahead and take another swing at a nose tackle if you don't think Mozzie Smith's the guy. But this is but like round 1, Graham Barton's probably my favorite, or Jackson Powers Johnson. Like if you just want to pick a center, have him play center, like just have it covered. I'd love Jackson Powers Johnson to Dallas. So there's a few guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So is that about it?
Yeah, for what I've been on, I don't think I've been. Well, I've been watching season 2 of Invincible with my girlfriend because she hadn't seen it yet. So.
I haven't seen the newest episode.
I'm catching her up to where I am, and then we're gonna finish it. So.
Okay.
I've only seen.
I'll probably go watch the episode right now. Might grab some food and go watch it.
It's the finale. So.
Yep.
You can go ahead. Anything else?
No, just keep your eyes out, guys. I got some cool videos on the way. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, and I'm about to shit myself. So that's going to do it for us today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Mwah. Next week's episode is, of course, going to be on Brayden's channel. So
sure.
If you enjoy it, subscribe, all that good stuff. And peace out.
Adios, guys.